Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling strangely empty? You were there. You spoke, maybe even shared something that mattered to you. But somehow, no one really heard you. Not in the dramatic sense of being ignored, but in the quiet, subtle way, where you start to wonder if you were ever truly present in the room at all. Like your words were made of mist, visible for a second, then gone. That feeling, as lonely as it is, happens more often than most of us like to admit. We grow up thinking that communication is about words, that if we say the right thing in the right way, people will get us, understand us, remember us. But the truth is, most people aren't really listening. They're waiting for their turn, waiting for their chance to talk, not because they're selfish, just human. We're all wrapped up in our own stories, our own thoughts, our own little screens. And in the midst of all that noise, real connection feels rare. So rare, in fact, that when someone does truly hear us, we remember it for days. That brings us to the question most of us have quietly asked at some point. How do I become someone who's actually heard? Here's something that might surprise you. You don't need to be louder, or wittier, or more articulate. Being heard isn't about dominating a conversation, it's about anchoring yourself in it. What does that mean? It means speaking in a way that creates moments, not just noise. And the simplest way to do that is through something I call conversational anchoring. Conversational anchoring is when you give your words something real to hold on to: emotion, imagery, shared experience, or even just a small personal truth. You turn generic talk into something memorable, something that sticks. Because people don't remember surface-level words. They remember how you made them feel, what you made them imagine, what little flash of humanity they caught a glimpse of when you spoke. Let's take a simple example. Someone asks you, "How's your week going?" The default answer: busy, same old. But what if you said, "Honestly, I stared at my screen for 10 minutes yesterday like I was buffering in real life"? That's a moment that paints a picture that lands. It's not about being clever, it's about being specific. People connect with details, not summaries. When you describe something in a way that feels alive, you pull them out of autopilot. You give them something to latch onto, and in return, they offer you something back: a laugh, a nod, a real response. That's a conversation. That's presence. Another way to be heard is to reflect, but with a spark. Let's say someone says, "I've been really tired lately." Most of us would just reply with, "Same here." But if you say, "Tired," or like, "emotionally exiled from your own brain tired," suddenly, you've invited them into a shared emotional space. It's not a performance. It's not a joke. It's an offering. And it's far more powerful than any scripted reply. Now, this all might sound easier said than done. You might wonder, what if I say something odd? What if they don't respond? That's okay. The goal isn't to force connection, it's to allow for it. Not every observation will lead to a meaningful exchange. Sometimes people aren't in the space to respond. Sometimes they're just not the right person. And that's not a failure. That's life. What matters is that you showed up, that you noticed, that you offered something real. And that starts with something incredibly simple: observation. Stop searching for the perfect thing to say. Instead, just look. Not at someone's vibe or aura or energy. Those are vague and hard to grasp. Look at what's actually in front of you. Their shoes, their coffee order, the way they keep checking their watch, or how their jacket's way too heavy for the weather. These details are tiny openings. All you have to do is point them out. Instead of asking someone what they're drinking, you say, "That's a lot of whipped cream for someone who doesn't look like they're celebrating." Or, Your dog has the energy of someone who silently judges everyone, and I fully respect that. These small, strange, honest comments, these are how you become memorable. Not because you were trying to be, but because you were paying attention. But none of this works if you're faking it. People can sense when you're pretending to care. They can tell when you're going through the motions. If you want to be heard, truly heard, you need to mean it. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. Even if you're never going to see that person again. That moment still matters. Because we're all a little starved for realness, for attention, for being seen without performance. And here's the truth. Small talk isn't shallow. It's just the doorway, the opening. What makes it shallow is when we treat it like a chore, when we rush through it to get to the real stuff. But what if the real stuff is inside the small talk? What if noticing someone's weird shoelaces or half-melted ice cream is the first thread in a deeper connection? Once you shift your mindset like that, something amazing happens. You stop dreading small talk. You stop feeling invisible. And instead, you start enjoying it, not because you've mastered some social trick, but because you're actually there, present, paying attention, offering real moments in a world full of distractions. So the next time you're waiting in line, sitting in a meeting, or walking into a conversation that feels routine, remember this. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to notice something and speak from that place of quiet awareness. You'll be amazed how quickly people start to lean in. This is the unbothered mind. And you're not invisible. You're just learning how to be heard.